So as people join, it's okay. They can catch up. No pressure at all. So we are going to first understand, the thing is, like how for Mandala we usually don't really rely on textbook. It's more like we learn few patterns, we learn the compositions and designs like that. Oh, sorry. Before I get started, so this is my screen. You can pin it if you'd like to, so that it will be on focus for you all. So if you're logging into your phone, there should be an option of three where you click on the video and then you could just pin the screen. All good? Everyone's okay? Just a quick thumbs up would be great. Perfect. All good. Okay. So like how we have different, like how we learn mandalas, usually we know different patterns are there, and then there's like compositions and designs, and that's how we do, right? Of course, there's so many books as well. But regards to Islamic geometry, there's so many wonderful authors, and it's important that we acknowledge those authors, and they are really, really useful to get started, almost like a textbook. So there are several books. There's one of it, which is my personal favorite, is this one, which is called Islamic Geometric Patterns, and it's by Eric Braug. So he has another book as well, and there's one more book which is called The Arts and Crafts of Islamic Lands. Even that is also really good with lots of patterns. So I can send a link of the books that are usually good to get started with. And so now what we'll be doing is this one, the grid construction, will be done a different method, given that, considering the time of the class, and I'm sure many of you would be doing this for the first time. So we'll approach this a little differently, but I would like to show you how do we traditionally make a circle and create a square out of it. And then after that, we will learn few of these elements that are over here, right? So I'll tell you what these design elements are and how do we draw them. So again, we are also going very, very basic into this only. We are not going into the depth, so don't worry. So first, we'll get started. As I mentioned, A4 paper. So just grab that. And then we need our scale. And pencil and the compass. For this one, you can even go with the shorter scale if you'd like to, because in the list of materials, I specifically asked for 30 centimeter scale. If you have a 15 centimeter scale with you, for this one, you can go with that also. Okay. So in mandala, how do we normally make a circle is we mark the center point on all the four sides and then we join those points, we get a midpoint. Using that, we draw a circle, right? So that is how we can just draw the circle and then create a square out of it. But since majority of you know that part, that's what my understanding is. I'm going to just draw an horizontal line for now because this is just for illustrative purposes. At any point, if you feel like no, I don't know this. Can you please explain? Let me know. So I'm on the thought that there are a few things it's already known. I'm just focusing more on what I wanted to teach in this workshop. Okay, so just draw a horizontal line, and then the idea is to just make a circle. So just place your compass on the line and just make a circle of a 2.5 centimeter radii. This we are just doing for learning purpose, or we are starting with hardware? We are doing only for learning purpose. That's why I mentioned that normally you would just take the center point and then take the center point on all the four sides, and then you would join those lines, get the midpoint, do a circle, right? But now I'm just showing you how do we make a square out of this. So that's why just a line and a circle. That's it.
So do we basically need to do this on a separate paper and not the main sheet?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have mentioned that, but yeah, that's right. Okay, I'll wait for everyone. So the 2.5 centimeter circle. Yeah. And then we are going to bisect this and construct a vertical line. For that, we usually place our compass here on this side and take more than 2.5, right? Take more than the radii and just draw arc on the top and bottom. Same thing as well on the other side. Don't change the measurements. And then we will just join that. So if you look at it, we have actually come to the point where how we would get our mandala starting point, right? We have the horizontal line and vertical line, and we have the circle. This is just a new way of getting the circle. Okay. And then taking this 2.5 radii itself and placing the compass here at this intersection, we will draw 4 circles. So one at 4 intersections we will place and we will draw 4 circles. Okay, so now that we're done with this, so we join these 4 points. So just make a mark, and then so we are going to join them diagonally. And the same on the other side. And then we're going to join this way. So that way we get our square. So if you see, our square is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts, right? Now, if you want, you can divide this into further part. So by just marking these points, where the circles that we drew intersect with this circle. So you can make points like this. Okay, and then so this one with this one, all passing through the center, and then so diagonally, right? Diagonally, but like a cross. So it's now the square is divided into 12 parts. Yes, the recording will be available, but let me know if you're having any difficulty while, because I'm trying to go as slow as possible. So,
Can you please repeat the last step?
yes. So the last step is nothing but we have to square. So our this like we have got what we want, but as I mentioned, the square it's just divided into 8 parts, right? So I was just showing that how to divide it into further, how to divide it into 12 parts. So we're just marking this circles where it intersecting with the the first circle that we drew. So mark those points, and then make sure your center point is always intact, and then join them diagonally like in a cross manner, like this. So this one will come on the opposite side, it will come here. Are we all good? So now there are so many patterns that can be generated from this, right? You make few extra circles or you make few extra lines, and then you only highlight the ones that are important, like I'll show you the one that we're going to do and you'll understand it much better. So this is like the basic. Now you also have pentagon and you have a hexagon shape. So these different shapes, and that's how, but it's this is like the basis. Okay, now to understand what pattern we're doing today, we are going to again do the same process, but we're not going to divide this further. It's just going to be the same one, but just until what it was, or like we will avoid these last two divisions. That's it. So the same thing, we start off by drawing a horizontal line. And this time, let's do it a little bigger so that it'll be easy to understand.
Are we doing it on a fresh piece of paper or the same paper, the bottom side we can do it?
Yeah, you can do it on the bottom side. So when I'll tell
Okay,
you when we are
thanks.
going to take when we are going to start the design, that's when you can take a fresh piece of paper. Okay. So this time we will take a little bigger circle. I'll just give you the measurement. So we will take, so last time we drew 2.5, right? This time we'll do 3.5. I will send you pictures from the book as well. So that will be a good, interesting read about the history of the pattern.
Is what is the radius?
3.5 centimeter.
Okay, thank you.
All good. And then the same process where we keep our compass here a little more than the center point and then draw an arc from both the sides.
Ma'am, please repeat the previous step.
It's similar to what we did earlier. We are just bisecting the circle so that we get the vertical line. So you bisect that by taking more than the radius, so like 3/4, and then just draw an arc on top and bottom from both the sides. Yeah, and then can I go ahead? Like, let me know if it's okay. And then the next step was taking the same radii measurement, 3.5. We're going to draw circles from all the four intersecting points. We're going to mark these points. And then join those. Make sure that your center point is aligned. And do the same. So it's the same process that we have done before. We're just doing it on a bigger scale. That's it. I'll wait. So this is what we had done before, except now, I mean, previously what we had done was, like, this is what I was saying. It's now this square, right, is divided into 8 parts. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is the beauty of Islamic geometry. There'll be so many layers. It's your eyes need to be trained to see what you really want to see. Okay. And we had just basically divided this into further parts. So depending on the design, so this is basic now. Depending on the design, you add lines, you add circles and everything. Now we will be adding 2 squares, but I'll let everyone reach until here. Give me a thumbs up and only then I'll go forward. Perfect. So now we're going to make a square within this because we're going to construct our pattern within the square. So again, now I'll give you one pro tip. If you feel at any point this is confusing, I've also asked you to get a few color pens or something like that. Just take a pen, color pen or something, and just mark those points, what we're going to do. This is one way, right? Instead of always using the black pencil, you could do this way. So you join these 4 points and then make like a square actually. Okay, and then we're going to mark these points too. and then join them. So it's almost like a square, but at a 45-degree one. And then you could take a pen. So if you're using fine liners, then you could take anything like 0.5 or 0.6 size. And I'll would like to know if everyone's comfortable until here. Okay. And then now we're going to start by highlighting our pattern. Okay. So this is the pattern. Okay. So we're going to start off from this point. Okay. And then we draw along the border for our design. All right. So this is the design that we'll be doing today. I would like to explain the detailing as well. over here. But just for your reference, instead of doing it within this, we'll quickly construct something similar, this one, and then we will do one more inside this. So you don't have to be going to and fro, like with regards to like, oh, how did we get here? How did we get there? So we would be doing exactly what we did now. We'll be doing it again. Just you could take the back side of this paper that you already were using. So this is what I want to show you. So we have done this, okay, but there are few designs, I mean, not few designs, but few segments where we are doing another one inside this one, right? So that will be a quick practice as well for you. So we'll do this one little quickly. Draw the straight line, 3.5 centimeter circle. Okay. And then place your compass here. Take a little more than your midpoint, almost 3/4. Draw an arc. Join that. Now take the 3.5 measurement again and off from all the four sides. Draw a circle. Mark these points. Join the lines. And do the same this way as well. And then join them to create a square. Same over here. And then take the micron pen and do the same process that we did before. To save time, if you're familiar with the pattern, you already know you have to ink this bit as well anyways, right? So you could just place your scale and then do it like this. Similarly, this is what I mean. Instead of doing one by one, anyways, if you have placed your scale, you could rather do the other bit as well. But if you find it confusing, go step by step, no pressure at all. Now, let me know if everyone is comfortable until here, then we'll go ahead with the next one. I mean, constructing the similar pattern within this. So it's the same process, but we're doing it inside this now. That's it. So earlier, this was our outer square, right? And then we constructed another square within that and we did this pattern. Now this is going to be our square, okay, within which we're going to construct another circle. So the measurement, you can just blindly take this one, which is the square. So in this case, it will be 2.5 centimeters, but just keep your length as exactly this, like your center point, of course, and then touching the square. And then draw a circle. I'm doing it a little darker so that you can see. And now I'm going to use the color pen so that you can understand. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Maybe a little bigger so that you can see. And then just join them.
Veena, I'm just curious. Just a sec.
Hi, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just curious. Could we not do this without the circle? Or it's just a necessary part, the circle? The one that we just created, is this necessary? Because these lines were already visible. I'm just curious.
We are going, yeah, we are going to join these points further.
I'm sorry I missed it. I turned off the speaker here and I couldn't hear you. Veena,
So
I
technically,
actually
yes.
missed it. The answer that you gave for my question. The speaker was off and it just got missed.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. Yeah. So technically, yes, you have the points because we already did this for the the bigger square.
Mm-hmm.
But but the having the circle sort of just emphasizes, like, it was basically more for you to understand, like, okay, so earlier we had a circle, we had the square, and we got this pattern.
Mm.
Now we're doing the same thing,
On the inside.
but we're doing it in the inner part.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets easier when you do a lot of, drawings or in general.
Okay.
But this time it was just more to understand, like, oh, okay, so we're doing the same process, but we're doing it inside.
Okay.
But yeah, like, definitely, without the circle, you can always, like, okay, you understand, and you can just go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
But it's just
But
to
this
make it
was more
easier
like,
to understand.
yeah,
Mm,
yes,
got it.
that's right.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, okay, so now that we have the square, it's the same process. We're going to join these diagonally. And then what I would suggest, if you have different fine liners, because you have taken 0.5 or 0.6 for this one, I would suggest that you take 0.3 or 0.2 so that the line weight difference would be there. And it's the same process. So now when we're going to do this design in our broader design, we are not going to do this much construction because we already know what line we all have. So the same one that we did, we have just made a miniature version of this inside. Okay, so now let me know if everyone's okay till here. We will learn those small flowers and then we'll get started with the main design. Okay, so we're going to be doing 3 flowers. First one basically is okay. So I can't put both. Okay, fine. That's okay. I'll just do it like this. So the first one, okay, we are going to basically draw like a trifold thing. This for you to understand here. And then draw a mini circle. And so these flowers are part of one part of Islamic art, and they are the Persian, or there's a Persian illumination, or it's also called as tazhib art. This is again a broader topic of Islamic geometry or Islamic art, and under this, there are several broader topics. These flowers that we are doing is basically they're called kathai flowers. And please excuse me if I spell anything wrong, because with regards to Persian art, I've got good, decent, fair bit of basic knowledge. Not a master in it, but yes. All right. Okay. So the thing with these flowers is that we just don't do them like this, right? Like with the same pressure. You start off with a lighter pressure, okay, and then you intensify it, and then you bring it down like this. So similarly, like this. So it's just at the particular portion at the top, or I'll show you how it's done with regards to the leaves as well, then you'll understand. So even with the leaves, we start like this, right? So normally we would just draw like this or like this, right? So this is the beauty of this particular drawing, where you give emphasis at a particular point like this. So this is how it was traditionally done with the ink pen and the ink that they had. Okay. And then the next one is basically so this one itself you could draw with 4 petals. One, two, three, four, and then add leaves. And then the third one, we're going to again create a triangle angle like this. And we're going to add leaf, but unlike before, we're going to just add like this. It's almost like the pointed petal in mandalas. Okay. So now we can take a fresh piece of paper and we will get started with the design. Okay, so that will just, I'll show you how the entire composition is done and we will do the basic structure and we will compose one or two elements
What
and then,
we need?
sorry,
What size paper?
A4, A4,
Okay.
A4 size paper and we'll start composing. Um, okay, so just take a fresh piece of paper.
Well, Veena,
Before we
should we not do it on A5 so we can like do it more quickly? We have 1 hour left.
Yeah, so we won't be doing this whole, we won't be completing the whole thing. We'll
Okay.
just do the structure
Mm-hmm.
and then, yeah, it can be completed at a later phase.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And there's something that I missed saying earlier. Forgive me, please. So basically, when Chetna had raised this question that why did we have to do a circle? Yes, it's like, without the circle as well, it was visible. So, sorry, at that point, I didn't answer it exactly right. So the thing is, yes, without drawing the circle as well, you're able to see the points and just do it as it is. But I can show you why it won't work. Just a moment. So you'll still get the same design, but what will happen is, I'll just show you why. So these points, right? So although you have the design here, yes, you don't need the circle. You have it over here, but if we wouldn't have used the circle there at that point of time, it could have been confusing with these set of squares. So that was the whole point.
Yeah, it made sense. When I actually started making the lines, I did realize that the circle is helping out with the guidance. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So this is something that I wanted to mention
Yeah.
when I was answering your question,
Mhm.
but anyway, all good.
Yeah.
So now we're going to take a fresh piece of A4 size paper. So if you can see over here, the elements are pretty much repeating and they are exactly what we have done. So we'll construct the whole grid, but we'll only do this bit. So then I will send this reference image and you can construct the rest of it by yourself. Okay. So now we're going to take our 30 centimeter scale and we're going to start off by taking offsets. So we're going to mark 2.5 centimeter on either sides. So the paper measurement obviously will be 29.7, something like that, right? So each of the square that we're going to construct is about 5 centimeters. So we will be doing 5 squares. So we'll be doing 5 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 25 centimeter is what we need. So it's basically 20, whatever is the length that you have, 29.7 minus 25, that needs to go. Okay. So approximately 2.5.
How many centimeters do we mark? 2.5.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to make sure that you have 25 centimeter. So it's okay to tweak a little bit according to the paper. Yeah. So it's just a matter of 0.3 centimeters over here. So just make sure you have 25. That's it. And this way, we will be having 20 centimeters. So it's about, so the paper is usually 21 centimeters, right? So just leave
Half.
0.5 on either sides and do the marking.
Yeah, the shorter side will not be 25 centimeter actually, right?
No, no, no. So the length. So this one which I was talking about is 29.7, right?
Yeah, the longer side.
So yeah, so this side you need to get 25.
Okay.
So basically, the whole idea is we
No,
are
but if we
constructing
are,
a five.
yeah, if you're looking at 5 centimeter squares, then
Hmm?
we'll need to have 25 on the shorter side as well, which is not the case,
No,
right?
no, no, no. That's what I'm trying to explain. So we are doing a 5 by 5 centimeter square each design. Okay.
Correct.
But on the shorter side, it will be 20 centimeters.
Sorry?
On the shorter side, it will be 20 centimeters, 20.
And there are only
So
four
vertically, you
squares.
have to have
Yeah.
5 sections, and horizontally,
Yes.
So vertically, in rows, you have to have 5 rows and 4 columns. Okay. So on the shorter side, this one is 21 centimeters, right? We're using A4. So you have to just subtract half and half on both sides, like I've done here. I've marked half centimeter on top and bottom and created a line. Now this part is to be excluded, this half centimeter. Consider this a border, okay? Half centimeter on the left and half on the right. When you do this much, you mark 2.3 from top, and then from there, what I've done here is you place your ruler like this on top, put the 0 on top, vertically I'm talking, mark at 2.3, and then from there, again, place the 0 at the 2.3 mark, and from there you mark 25. That's going to give you perfect measurements. And you do that on both the sides, and then draw a line. We just need to make borders right now. We'll divide the sections later.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Chetna.
You're welcome.
Mine has got like a spiral binding. So just like that. And so what we'll be doing is we will, now that we have one side as 25 centimeter, we'll place our scale and then we'll mark a point at every 5 centimeters. And feel free to join them. Now on the other side where you have the 20 centimeter, just make a marking at every 5 centimeter. So that will give you 4 parts. So basically, we are just making the construction easier by by doing the squares this way rather than, so the traditional way of constructing this whole grid would have been a different process where we would have done the same, drawn a circle, constructed a square, and then just keep drawing overlapping circles, and that's how we get so many, sorry, a grid of the whole squares. But just for us to do this artwork and to understand this composition, we are basically drawing the squares this way. And then now every square will be the same that we did previously, right? The same pattern. We're just going to do it over here. That's it. So treat each square as what you had. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, for each of the square, we're just going to make the diagonal lines. So you can make this simpler by just extending this diagonal line like this. That's how you can extend it, but the whole idea is we have it, and then we'll be constructing our circle. Is everyone okay so far until here? You've got your squares. Okay. And then take your compass. And then draw the circle. Okay. And then, so we are also going to just keep the center point as our reference and draw a horizontal and vertical line. So we are doing things a little differently from what we did before because we're not going the longer way of doing the whole grid construction.
After the
How did you try
square
that?
grid,
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think two of you spoke, right? I'm happy to answer for anyone first. I think the question was more like after the square, what we're doing, right?
Yeah. We can continue from there. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So after the square, so you know, like how earlier we went, by the time we got the square, we already had these lines, right? So now because we did the square first, we are just doing these lines, and I am showing it box by box. But if you are okay with the lines, like how I mentioned, if you're extending it, like if you're joining like this, you can extend it amongst the other squares as well. Similarly, if you want this one as well, if you place this scale along the center point, you will you can make the horizontal and vertical line. But if you want to be extra precise because you feel like you're more comfortable that way, you can again mark a point, make a midpoint, and then join the lines. That, but it's fine to do like this. Okay, and then
Can you just explain how you did this circle? You just directly put 2.5 and
yeah, so the circle is basically the square, right? So
yeah.
the diagonal lines, we already had the center point, and then we just took the square, like how we did before. Like when we had to do another circle within the square, we just take that and then draw it within. So as it basically fits the square. That's it. So the measurement would be 2.5. Yes.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're going to mark this point. So just because you asked this question now, so after the circle, also please draw the horizontal and the vertical line. And then join. And then the same process where we mark these points. And then so we'll take our pen.
After the circle, what we did,
So after the circle, it's similar. So it's similar to what we did before. We are just doing it now inside this one. That's it. The pattern construction, what we did before, we did it twice, right? So it's that thing that we are doing now. So we are basically marking
but how will we
the
draw that that bisector here?
so the bisector was more for us to get this vertical line. But if we do the bisect, if we do that technique over here in each and every square, it can get confusing. That's what when I mentioned earlier that. So how normally what would happen is if you would use that method of constructing the grid, right, the square grid. Say for instance, you had the circle, then you were doing a few more circles like this, and then you got the square. Again, you would take more circles. Sorry, it's a very messy sketch. And then you construct a square out of it like this. So by constructing set of overlapping circles, we would ideally create the square grid. Okay? But here, if we do that, it can get like lots of bisectors and the same process. It can get a little messy. So that's why I've just asked you to draw this the vertical line directly.
2.5 centimeters.
No, what 2.5? Sorry. Yeah, I
From
mean, at 2.5. Yeah, correct. It will be 2.5. Yes. So you can mark 2.5 and just draw the. Correct, correct. Okay. So, yeah, so once you have your horizontal and your vertical line, then you mark the points that we need to make the square. Just refer to the previous design that we did. That will help you. So keep that aside next to you. That will help you make every design. Okay. So you mark these points, and then similarly for the diagonal square. And then we take our pen and ink it. Is everyone okay until here? Just try to change the angle if it helps. Okay. So now we are going to construct one more pattern within this, but I'm not going to do the circle as I mentioned earlier. That was just for you to understand. Now we can directly go ahead and draw the next set of squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Veena, I think you should move the camera back to its previous position. The
That's
signal
what
is
that worked better. Okay,
yeah.
no worries, I can do that. Just give me a moment. Okay, maybe this is much more better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So marking these points, then You can take the shorter scale now. And then you can take the pen again and then ink it. So it's the same process that we have done before, but it's just that we're doing it on a smaller scale. Is everyone good until here? Okay.
What is the radius of inner circle?
So that's what I've mentioned. So because I've
Sorry, I am a bit lagging behind.
yeah, that's fine. So with regards to the circle, we had done that before, like while trying to understand the pattern itself. But now we're skipping the circle part and we are just taking the measurements or the points directly. So we have this square over here, right? This diagonal square. So we're marking the 4 points like this. And then just join them. And then these points.
I have this made. I'll show it to you if you want.
We could do one more because we'll anyways be doing 4. So we could just do one more if that
Yeah.
helps. Yeah. Okay. So the same way we take a diagonal. Oopsie. Okay. And then we'll take our compass. And the measurement will be the square, right? So that which should be, because the square is 5 centimeter, our circle would be, radii would be 2.5 centimeter. Just take the square as the guide. And as one of the participants, she mentioned you could take measurement again if you'd like. It will be 2.5. We can just keep that in mind and then just draw. So now we'll mark these points. Is it okay till here? Like, are you able to follow? Sorry, I've pinned my screen for myself so that I know what all you guys are able to see. So I really couldn't catch the name of who asked the question or was lagging behind, but but I hope it's okay now. And then join that. So even though it may seem a little like, okay, what's happening right now? Why are we doing a lot of lines, lot of circles? When you do it box by box, it'll start making sense and you'll eventually get a habit of it. So don't worry about that. Okay. And then the diagonal lines. Mhm. So this is what we are doing right now. So we wouldn't be constructing another pattern within this again. Instead, it'll be more like two concentric circles and we'll just draw simple patterns. We'll come to that in few minutes, but for now, we'll do these two boxes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do these two as well. At any point, if you feel stuck, let me know.
Veena, I have a question. Are we not doing the inner version in each square? Like here I've already marked it, but here I've created but not marked the inner one, this design.
Yeah. So if you want to alter, it's up to you. No worries at all. So the whole composition was something like this, where we have so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Like so 5 by 4, the 20
Mm-hmm.
squares.
Yeah.
And just the squares in between, we are doing like a small mini mandalas.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so all of the ones on the outer border, like all of the squares, will
Mm-hmm.
have the pattern. I mean, sorry, will have the same
The
pattern
flower.
repeating with the bigger one. Yes, will
Oh.
have the flower.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take this as an example. instance. So now the beauty of this is that when you construct these four, you can see that there'll be another pattern that will be formed because of this composition, right? So what it is, we'll just understand that in a minute. So we just keep repeating what we have done initially in every square. And over a period of time, you'll be like, okay, I can just extend this line like this. I can just extend this like this. So you sort of keep building that habit. So if you can see, another pattern is being formed, right? And now we're going to construct the similar one within this. So someone earlier had asked a question, right? Like, what is the measurement of the inner circle that we're taking? So the measurement is basically this square. The square is your measurement. So ideally, it would be around 1.5, but we are more focused on the square, and you don't have to make the circle. That time it was just for your understanding, but we are just going to go ahead with the points. Could you let me know if that's clear? Like, I'm happy to show it once more if needed. Okay, cool. Awesome. And then we just sort of go ahead, make the lines. And then we're going to take the smaller nib size and then join it.
after looking at the patterns continuously, I'm feeling like I'm forgetting what to connect.
Sorry? Sorry, I missed
After,
that.
no, I'm just sharing after continuously looking at the same grid. I'm forgetting which points I'm supposed to connect.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm saying like you can use color pencils that will really help you. Mark the you use the color pencils to mark the points, and then that is why you need to take it a little slowly when you're doing it for the first time. You can keep referring to the initial one that we did. No, like so that one you will that will help you understand.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
That's all good. Yeah.
We can draw the same pattern with color pens also.
Yes, yes. Okay. So now I'm going to do this one, but no pressure. The whole idea was that now it's like you just go box by box. I'm just going to do this one very quickly, and then after that, we'll do the flower and then we'll do the mandala bit. So please take your own time and do this because it's really with lot of lines and everything. That's what I mentioned earlier. Like when you're doing Islamic geometry, it's almost important that you have that scanning eyes where you're there's so many lines, but you only scan the ones that you need to highlight or the ones that you need to lead draw. Keep revisiting the original pattern that we did, but it's the same, only thing we are just doing little bit variation. Instead of bisecting the circle and drawing the vertical line, we just drew the vertical line only because I hope it's making sense now. If we do the bisect and everything at this stage now in this class, it'll take a lot of time. And as I already mentioned, the way of building up this whole grid would be different. We would approach it differently, right? Here we have just drawn the squares directly to make this composition learning easier for us. But otherwise, we would draw a series of overlapping circles, and that's whole uh, understanding or a class in itself. So now, within this as well, we would be doing similar pattern within this, but I will pause the outer structure, this structure here, and we'll go in the details. Main thing why I wanted to do these for was so that I can show you when you do in each square now, it you will basically get another pattern like this, right? That's the whole idea. And I have kept all the flowers on I have kept all the flowers on the outer squares. This is what I mean by outer squares, like this. And the inner ones I've drawn a mandala, but you can change if you want. So the but the ones which have mandala, you don't need to do this one, right? The inner one again, because then your man you I mean if you want you can still do creative. It's up to you. You can still do like you can still do like a small circle, and then you could do design around it. But I just feel it'll get really really small and complicated. Let me know if everyone's okay until here, and then we'll do two of these so that you can understand and do the rest. I'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes.
So you're alternating the flower, the three petal and the four
That's
petal.
right. Yeah, you can alternate the three flowers. That's right.
Okay.
And so here the third flower will be coming. If everyone's okay until here, I know we are almost close to the end of our workshop. I'll be showing how to insert the mandala grid, and then we are good to go.
So the top second one will be with the three petals.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can keep alternating the flowers as per your choice.
Both horizontally and vertically.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So now the way you want to compose and complete is for your wish. Like, if you want, you can make this same flower like this and, continue, alternate here. You can keep same here and you can alternate here. So that composition and creativity you can do as per your wish.
Okay.
Yeah. So with regards to inserting a mandala, I've kept it very, very simple. So I've just made like one circle, which would be about So taking a measurement of 1 centimeter and drawing a tiny circle. Now, there are these protractors which come with the circles ready-made, right? So if you have one of those, you can actually just place your protractor here and then just draw those circles. It'll be much more easier.
What centimeter is that?
1 centimeter.
One. Okay.
And then we take 0.5 centimeter and we draw one more circle. So these are tiny, so rotate your paper if you wish to do so. Okay, and then I'll just grab the pencil to show you the design. So I've kept it really simple with a pointed petal. So I'm going to take this as one segment and do a pointed petal like this.
So the second column is going to be a single one, right? It's not double.
So remember it this way. Whenever you're inserting a flower, then you do a double. When you're inserting a mandala, just do a single. Why single when it's a mandala? Because when you do a double, creating another mandala inside that would be too small. If it was a bigger pattern, like how when we were learning over here, right? The measurements, I mean, if the measurements were a little bigger, yes, you could do your mandala in this also with the double. You know what? Is it understandable now? Yeah? Let me know if it's understandable now.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just our
So
creativity, however we may want to do it.
exactly.
Okay.
So why I have not asked you to make a double border whenever there's a mandala is because you need to draw a pattern right
Yeah.
inside this. So if you draw a double one, then it will become cramped. It will become messy.
Yeah.
Can we alternate the flowers?
Yes, yes. So in mandala, if you know, every pattern we usually create an inner border like this, right?
Correct. Double.
Yes, yes. So doing all of this in a very much tinier space would be a little bit more difficult. So now it's the same. You can create any design as per your liking. So this is how we can incorporate a mandala design in this. A tiny one. And then whenever there's a double one, you can do. So what I have done is I have drawn, let me just show it on. Show it again. I have whenever there is, so basically I've kept all the flowers to the corner squares like this. Okay. And so there's a double pattern whenever there's a flower. And the mandalas are just to the inside, and there's just one pattern. No, nothing, not double like this. But you can alternate, no pressure. You can do like um, flower, mandala, again, mandala, flower. You can change the composition even with regards to the flower inside. If you wish to go with this, even regards to the flower inside, you can do all same, all same, and alternate. Or you could do all
Please
same,
repeat again,
all
ma'am.
same.
For the flowers?
Yeah. So what I'm saying regarding the flowers is that, or regarding the whole composition, whatever we learned till now was important. Now with regards to composition, you can go as creative as you want. So you can continue the same. Like here, what I've done is I've alternated, right? I've alternated vertically and horizontally. But you can horizontally continue the same, and vertically you can alternate, or horizontally you can alternate and you can just do mandala on this edges, and you can do alternative. So the composition can vary, but at the end of the day, what we did today, we did a square construction. We are doing within every box, we are first sure doing this outer pattern, but this inner one, right, like a double one, inner one depends. If you're doing a flower, go for the inner one. If not, if you're doing a mandala in it, then don't do the inner one, because it, you can, if you can imagine here, it'll, this in this will become very tiny and it'll become little difficult to draw the design. So with regards to mandala patterns, we have discussed a few of it in our previous session, and we also have like tutorials available on our respective pages. So you can do any mandala designs within this, like how I've shown here. And regarding the coloring, it's like very flexible again. Usually they go with a very nice royal color, so gold is one really good choice. So usually you get these gold markers, so like gold metallic pens, you can go with this. So this is Brewster's metallic brush pen, but if not, you also get like fine tip markers.
Can you show some of your colored ones?
So I don't, just a moment, I don't have them open right now, but I can send images, so that will give you an idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can use and gold and red, gold and maroon, different combinations. Or you could just, you don't have to color the entire work, you could just go like, you could just color only this bit, and then you could just add some colors for the mandala. So post workshop, I'll be sending you images of the book, the design, and few of my other completed works, which will give you idea for color combinations, and then also workshop feedback forms. So that will just help us plan our future workshops.
This
I'm
inner
just
flower
seeing
we are drawing
yours.
with point 0.5. Oh, sorry,
Sorry?
0.05.
Which
The inner
ones?
floral patterns, inner floral patterns.
These ones?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. With 0.05. Yeah.
And after coloring, we will again redraw it.
Yes, because it's almost like when you do a mandala on a canvas or you draw mandala and you color it, you just sort of re-ink it so that the black is just more defined. Like it just basically makes it much more neater.
Yeah, so I think we're towards the end. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we'll end the session here. This was very wonderful and it was so interesting to learn. It requires so much of your focus, just like mandalas. So I've gotten used to the focus required for mandalas. This one
Yeah.
challenged me in a very
Yeah.
creative way. So I
Yeah.
really enjoyed working on it, and I love um, the composition that you've created. It's so beautiful to just look at. So I'm just wanting to finish this quickly.
Yeah, I was just about to say that earlier that it has come out really like I was because until now I had my screen on, so when I just saw yours, I was like, wow. Because I hope everyone else, if they could just turn on their cameras quickly and show where they are,
Yeah.
because honestly, I've done a lot of workshops with mandalas, and even with Islamic geometry, but they've always been one on one. With regards to group workshop, I would say honestly, this should be one of the first that I've done. So I've tried my best to keep it really. It's been a lot for you to take in, I can understand, but I hope you can
But
get to watch the
I can
recording at your
see
own pace.
artworks and everyone has done an amazing job.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Oh, wow,
wow.
amazing.
You've made
The
so much of
camera
it.
looks good. See? So pretty.
Wonderful.
Wow. Wonderful. Hey, nice.
Amazing work. Very much.
Wow. Thing.
Really liked it the way you started off on a rough sheet and got a sort of warm up on the rough sheet, and then you got
That was
to
very
the
important that we spend more time because I knew that when we would come to the composition, it's easy to get lost. So
Hmm.
that's why I was like, we need to spend more time on that. So now it's like I'm confident that I can leave you with this. It will take time. You will crack your head and you will figure out square by square. But the more you start drawing, it will definitely make sense. Like that's what I can't really be like it'll unless you draw it. When you keep drawing it square by square, it'll make sense,
Hmm.
and you
Yeah, it's
will
all
be
about
like, "Acha, okay,
practice.
let me just extend this line. Let me just
Hmm.
extend this line.
Yeah,
I've got this." So you will start getting the hang of it.
right.
yeah.
And we can also see so many more patterns being created inside when we actually sit down to draw
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
All
had
right.
started something on a similar lines on a A3 sheet earlier, and halfway through I got so lost and I just left it at that. So now after
No.
today's session,
The
I
same
definitely
happened
bring
with
back
me
that
for
one.
a moment.
Yeah, so this is the thing with regards to Islamic geometry. You really need to be mandala. You have to be patient. Even with this, you have to be patient. It's like you need to sort of be patient with regards because there's so many lines involved. So
Yeah.
it's almost like your eyes need to have that power to be like, okay, there's so many lines now. What do I want? What should I
Yeah.
sketch? Which line should I actually ink? So while inking, also you need to be very careful, and then you need to keep going, like with regards to the other set of patterns. And this is honestly the simplest one that we have taken for today. The beauty of it, there's more and more and more designs.
Yeah.
Great. Look forward to more designs like
We
this.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, we can plan more workshops on the same topic so we can take this forward and learn more simple
Yeah.
compositions like this one, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and more simple compositions, and we're happy to have like what you could also do like one exclusive session on painting for these.
Hmm.
So
Right,
yeah,
right. Absolutely. Okay, so we'll post
thank
the
you so
feedback
much.
form and from there we decide our next workshop. So please take part in that and we'll plan workshops accordingly.
Sure. Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
ma'am.
much for joining. Take care and keep
Thank
drawing.
you.
We'll end the
Yeah, you
session
too.
here. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.